Vanakkam, Namaste, how are you? Hello, how are you friends? Komada, how are you? How are you? Send a message saying you're okay. Komada, how is life? Did you go to school? Any term test these days? Hello. Yes, chattaga. Hello. Yes, who's this? Rishma, Mithulima. Life is hard. Why Mithulima? Life is hard. Always, need. And how are you? Yeah, fine. It's a bit cold here. And candy cold because of AC, right? And how about in Colombo? Where are you, Methulima? Colombo, where? Are you in Colombo? Oh, where? Pannipiti, ne? Pannipiti. How about Pannipiti? Pannipiti is always hot, ne? Pannipiti is hot, no? Even in the night, it's little hot, right? How do you feel it? Freezing. Right. Okay, people. So the others, Kamada, Kushmi, Neha, Rishma, what is this? Rukshika. How are you, people? Right. So we failed to connect last. We failed to connect last Monday. Ne? The last Monday class spoiled. At the last moment, suddenly the computer crashed, and then we tried to restart, but it didn't work. Something went wrong. So we were like fixing it till late night. And now today, everything okay, right? So we can go with our discussion. So today's aim is to people revise some of the early sections that you learned. Now we are in unit 4 revisions, rapid revisions, right? So we'll be going through this unit 4 rapid revision. We'll be starting people unit 5 soon. We'll be starting unit 5 soon. So don't worry, right? We have made the plans. We'll speed up, right? And as I promised you, we are going to finish by August end. We are finishing grade 13. And this is June, July, August. We'll be finishing grade 13 and thoroughly we'll be doing we'll be finishing grade 12 and thoroughly we are starting grade 13 and then we'll finish them, right? So people, today's discussion is mainly focused on to talk about plant growth and development. Plant growth and development. Have a look. Plant growth and development. So this is, you learn this. So my job is to quickly helping you. Shafa says, hello Shafa, right? Santosh, sir, we didn't discuss paper 30. No, Santosh, paper 13 you have to submit this week. Paper 13 you have to submit this week, all right? 13 you have to submit this week. And I'll be giving you the marking scheme. And then we'll take that to discussion next Thursday, right? We're a little late, neither. Right? We'll, because you have to submit the paper first. Submit the paper, then we'll go with the discussion, Santosh, right? So this Saturday, I'm expected you to submit it last Saturday, but then you all people said that I have not asked you to submit it on last Saturday. So we'll give some excuse, right? Doesn't matter, right? So plant growth and development in plants. So growth involves irreversible increasing of the dry mass with the development of an organism. And we can see that people often associated with increasing of the number as a result of producing more cells from meristematic company. So we can see people during the growth, we can see that the new cells are going to be added, right? Often associated with increase of the cell number, neither. So the meristems are responsible. We discuss about the meristems. We talk about different groups of meristems. We learn about people, the primary And secondary meristems, we talk about the apical meristems, intercalary meristems, and also we learn about the lateral meristems, right? So meristems we learn, and then we have to focus on learning, rediscussing people the primary structure of the root, right? I hope you can draw the primary structure of the root. Find a paper, find piece of paper. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for you to draw the primary structure of the root. Don't look at the book. Nothing, no sources, right? No resources. Can you draw quickly the root primary structure diagram? Can you do it? I'm giving you 2 minutes. I can give you 2 minutes. Can you draw it, people? Root structure. Can you draw it? Root structure. Root primary structure. I want you to draw primary structure of the root. Can you do it for me? Sir, did not receive page number 13. Sorry, what is that? Paper number 13 in the courier. All right, paper number 13. I'll see neither. I don't know when you say I can't check it right now. I'll inform, right? So you send me a WhatsApp message. Haridalamai, root primary structure. So I didn't receive the posters. Mithulima, yeah, don't worry, we'll send. We'll send. I think I have informed it. You will receive it, okay? So just give me a reminder also. I'll check. I'll forward that message to the department who post the tunes for you, right? And we'll see the response. I think you mentioned that last Saturday, no? Did you mention it last time? I think I forwarded that message to them. Yes, they said it's already posted or posting or something, right? So don't worry, you will get them. And so primary structure of the root, are you ready, people? Are you drawing, my dear students? Are you drawing it? So how do you draw the primary structure of the root? Primary structure of the root, you draw like this. And primary structure of the root. Primary structure of the root. And then people, monocot, dicot. What did I ask you to draw? Primary structure of the root, we'll take dicot. We'll take dicot. We'll take dicot. You can't see that. Ne? You cannot see that. Dicot root. Dicot root. And so we know, people, two tissue layers are here. Endodermis and the pericycle. So you have to show that. And then at the center, we can draw, people, this xylem at the middle. Xylem at the middle. Can you see the xylem? This one is xylem. This is xylem. You can't see that, neither. I'll take my different pen set. Sir, will you be put the messages to? Sir, will you be put all the messages that you put to Telegram in the WhatsApp group? Also, please, most of them don't have, but they don't tell us, sir. WhatsApp, it's little difficult for me to manage 2 chat lines. That's my problem. Since we are sending some quiz or a true false statement and all, I had like set up that in both WhatsApp and Telegram. Right, here we have what is the problem in installing Telegram, people? No, what's the problem in installing Telegram? I think it cost only 300 rupees, 300 rupees once in lifetime, 300 rupees only. Is that a big problem? Or is there any other problem? Is there any other problem? I don't know. So this is the phloem. This is phloem neither. This is phloem. That's phloem. Right? Phloem. Phloem. All right. So that is phloem. So quite transparent. Phloem is quite transparent. It doesn't matter. So this is phloem and the xylem, and then you can see people here. You can see here the root hairs present. Root hairs are there. So this is dicot. So if you draw the monocot one, we can draw like this. Pith is present in the middle. Pith present in the middle. Pith is there in the middle. And then we can see that the xylem and phloem present. Xylem and phloem present like this. Radial vascular tissue arrangement present. Radially arranged vascular tissues present like that. And then the central part has a pith. Central part has a pith. And then you can see the phloem. Then you can see the phloem is present between these xylem. Phloem is present between the xylem like this. Phloem is present between xylem like that. Okay, so that is the of phloem, right? That is the arrangement of phloem. So xylem, phloem like this. So this is how you see the monocot and the dicot. So this one is monocot. Monocot. This one is the dicot. Dicot. And then both people shows the root neither. Both shows the root structure. So this is the primary growth of the root. And then how about the stem people? Did you draw these two? Now you can label epidermis, root hairs, endodermis, pericycle, primary phloem, primary xylem. That's it. Here the same arrangement. Can you tell me the differences between the dicot and the monocot root? Differences between the dicot and the monocot root. Some differences are there. You can mention those differences. What are those differences, people? So you can see this. The difference here. So what sort of differences are there? We said, people, the pericycle has a difference. Pericycle has a difference. Very good. Tabhana Jayaprakash. Very good. Right. Very good. You sent me the diagram. Right. So here, people, we can see the pericycle difference is there. Monocot pericycle is not meristematic. Dicot pericycle is meristematic. Monocot pericycle is not forming lateral roots. Dicot is forming lateral roots. And then pith is not present in the dicot. Pith is available in the monocot. Is there any other differences? Is there any other differences? We can see that the xylem, many xylem tips are available. Many xylem tips are present here. And then you don't see that dicot has only 4 tips like this. So that makes the differences between the monocot and the dicot. Radial vascular bundles in monocot. Both are radial. Both radial, people. Both radial. These two are radial. Both are radial. Right? Akshaya, both are having radial. These two radial. This one also radial. Right? Now, if you look at this, if you erase this middle part, you get the other diagram. You get the other one. Right? It's something similar to this. When you remove the middle part. So both have the arrangement. The radial arrangement. No cambium. That's good. No cambium is a correct point. Right, people? Now we are moving to the stem details. Structure of the stem. Structure of the stem. How do you draw that stem structure? Find a piece of paper and then draw it, people. Draw the stem structure for me. Draw the structure of the stem. Draw it quickly. Stem structure. Draw it, how it differs in monocot and the dicot. So here we can draw the dicot stem. And we know, people, the vascular bundles. Vascular bundles, these are present arranged in a ring like this. Vascular bundles are arranged in a ring like this. Right? And then we learn, people, some of these sclerenchyma present like caps outside the vascular bundles. Sclerenchyma caps are available. Sclerenchyma present like caps. Each vascular bundle, if you take, people, cambium present. So when cambium present, what do you call open vascular bundle? So closed. What do you call when cambium present? What do you call when a cambium present? What do you call the vascular bundle? Open or closed? Who's going to answer my question? Who is going to answer my question? Who's going to answer my question? Open or closed? What do you call when cambium is there? Very good, Santosh. Cambium is available. What do you call open or closed? Now here we can see the xylem present. This is xylem. This is xylem. This is xylem. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You have forgotten these things. Good. So I'm here to revise. I'm here to revise. That's my job, right? Helping you to revise. That is my job. I'm glad to do it, right? In the night. That's why I'm coming. Neither. I can keep quiet, right? But that's not the style now. Neither. You need some extra help. So that is people. Ugh, yuck. That's not nice diagram. Ne? We'll see people whether we can do something with this. Whether we can do something with this. How about stem? Mithil, this is better, ne? This is better. This is better. Right? This is better. Right? Look at this. Look at this. So who's going to tell me? Open or close? What do you call these vascular bundles? I think I can help you to revise that. Open, close vascular bundles. I think I have something. I think I have something to revise that with you. Vascular bundle, where is it? Classification of vascular bundles. All right, looks, it's here. Yes. Look at this. Santosh, Mr. Santosh. Can you look at this, Mr. Santosh? The vascular tissue. So we say radial. Vascular tissue, we say radial, Santosh, and then we say conjoint, and then we say concentric. And then radial means what? This is radial. Look at this radial type. Xylem phloem present separately. Then what do you call that, people? Radial, you can see that present in the root, primary root of the monocot and dicot. Both you can see that radial available, right? Radial is present in the root. The radial is therefore a character that you can see in the root. And then people will take the conjoint means one, the xylem and the phloem, they present together, attached with one another. And then we call that as the conjoint type. And conjoint people we can classify as collateral, and then there are two types. Look at this, Santosh. One is called as the open and the other one is called as the closed. When cambium present, what do you call that? That is open type. When cambium is absent, that is called as what, people? The closed type. So where do you find the open type present? Where do you find the open type present? Open type is present in dicot. The closed type is available in monocot. Closed type is available in monocot. Look at this, people. Closed type is, open type is in dicot. Closed type is present in the monocot. Monocot don't have cambium. Ne? And then people, bicollateral, this is like in the pumpkin stem. Pumpkin stem, we can see some special feature. What is the special feature? Special feature is two phloems present inside and outside. Two phloems present. And the xylem is sandwiched at the middle. And two cambia present too. Ne? Two cambia present. Two cambia available. So look at these, people. This one, it shows clearly. So here this is phloem, this is phloem, this is cambium, this is cambium, this is xylem. Ne? That is xylem. So this is the arrangement. This is the arrangement. Right, people? So that's the pumpkin stem. Ne? Concentric is, concentric is available in some plants. We don't have to know the plants. But it's kind of, they are the, around the center, xylem and phloem present as layers here. Xylem at the middle and the phloem in the surrounding. This you see in secondary grown stems. And the other way around, people, we can see phloem at the middle and the xylem outside. Right, this present in some of the seedless vascular plants. You can see this arrangement is there. Right, people? So this is what you learn. And then this xylem tissue arrangement, we say people exarch, endarch, you don't need that. If the xylem tip is turned towards outside, right? And then some we can see that the xylem tip is turned to the center, neither. Turn towards the center. Look at this. Here, dear, here we can see xylem tip towards the peripheral side. Here the xylem tip towards the center side. Ne? Tip towards the peripheral side you can see in the root. Tip is turned to the center you can see in the stem. That is also another difference. That is also another difference. Now here we can see that the tip is to the center. If this is the center, all the tips are towards the center in the stem. Neither. Tips are towards the center in the stem. Right? That makes another difference. Right? That makes a difference. That makes a difference. That makes a difference. All right. That makes a difference. Now, people, if you take the stem, stem structure, what do you call the monocot stem structure? If you take the monocot stem, this is how the monocot stem appears. Neither. This is how the monocot stem appears. Monocot stem, how it appears. The vascular bundles are scattered, right? Vascular bundles are scattered. Epidermis present, ground tissue present, and scattered vascular bundles are there. And if you take one vascular bundle, xylem present, phloem present, 3 xylem vessels available like this with a small broken parenchyma cells here. We call them as a lysogenous cavity. Neither. Lysogenous cavity, this is the arrangement. Is there any cambium available? This is monocot root. Is there any cambium? Is there any cambium? Come on, answer my question. Is there any cambium here? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. That's correct. Good. Very good. Right? No cambium here. Very good. Right? So that's the arrangement. And then time to talk about people. Time to talk about the secondary growth process. Secondary growth process, how the secondary growth is activating. Now this is the dicot stem, and what you learn, all these cambia are helping in completing a ring of dividing cells. They complete a ring of dividing cells. We called this ring of dividing cells as the vascular cambium. That is a vascular cambium. And you learn, people, from this vascular cambium. This vascular cambium is a single cell layer, and you learn, people, from this vascular cambium, cells are going to form towards outside, and cells are going to form towards outside, and cells are going to form towards inside, right? So here we can see the xylem and the phloem. This is xylem and the phloem. They now sit close together. This is the primary xylem. This is the primary xylem. And here we can see that the primary phloem present. This is the primary phloem. This is primary phloem, right? That is primary phloem. And then what happens here? Primary xylem and the primary phloem. And what you see, these when the new cells are added by these the cambium cells. So they are going to separate these two from away from one another, isn't it? They are going to separate these xylem and the phloem away from one another. So what happens when the secondary tissues comes? When the secondary tissues comes, we can see that the xylem is going to separate from the phloem. Xylem is going to separate from the phloem. And here we can see that they are now moving away from one another. So this is the primary xylem. This is primary xylem, and this is the newly formed secondary xylem. This is the newly formed secondary xylem, right, people? Newly formed secondary xylem, all right? And then here we can see that the primary phloem, this is primary phloem, right? And then this is the newly formed secondary phloem. This is the newly formed secondary xylem, phloem, sorry. This is the newly formed secondary phloem. So they are separating from one another. They separate from each other, right, people? They separate from each other. The primary xylem and the primary phloem is going to now separate from one another. Okay, and then you learn, people, sometimes some parenchyma continue to form towards inside and outside. Parenchyma is going to form. We learn, therefore, there are two cell types available. There are two cell types available in the vascular cambium. Can somebody tell me those two cell types? Come on. Who's going to tell me the two cell types are there in the vascular cambium? One involving in forming xylem and phloem as planned. The other type is involving in forming parenchyma. What do you call those two cell types? Come on, I can give you short time. Come on, come on, come on, come on. What do you call? Come on, come on. Yes, 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 yes. What are those two cell types? No one is going to answer. No one. Vascular and Koch. No, wrong, 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 wrong. Not vascular and Koch. No. One of the cell type is involving in forming parenchyma. We say that they are perpendicular or what do you call? Perpendicular or elongated. Right? One cell type is elongated along the length. One cell type is elongated along the length. Look at this. One cell type is, one is short cell, the other one is elongated cell. Look at this, people. One is a short cell. These cells are short cells. These are the long cells. Long cells are long along the length. Right? Look at this. Long cells are elongated along the length. So when you take a cross section like this, you can't see the long and the short cells. All looks alike. Long and the short cells, you can't see them. Right? All looks alike. Alright? But here there are two cell types. This one is a long cell. These are short cells. Short cells are involving in forming of the parenchyma. Long cells are involving in formation of the xylem and the phloem. Do you understand that? Is that clear? Right? So I'm quickly revising, helping you to revise because I knew that you have forgotten this. Right? So it's like very volatile. Volatile memory, 2-3 weeks you can memorize, not more than that. So I think it's longer than 3 weeks now. So you have forgotten it. Congratulations. Right? So you have to study that. So I have to revise, help you to revise this. Vascular rays, short initials, very good. Hamna, yes, that's very good. And then we name them as the long cells and the short cells. We name them as the long cells and the short cells. So here we can see, here this one is a short cell. That is why it forms the vascular rays. This cell is a short cell. Let me show that. This cell is a short cell. There can be a short cell here also. So it goes on producing, if this is a short cell, it will also produce parenchyma towards inside and outside. Short cells does that. These cells, the white color cells are long cells. They are long cells. So what they form inside and outside? They form phloem and xylem. They form xylem towards inside and they form phloem towards outside. What is this? The resource book picture, xylem and the phloem. Right. What is it for? Why did you send it to me? Resource book picture. Who sent it? So in this note, it says pericycle in the dicot root involving in secondary growth does not have vascular cambium contribute to secondary growth. What is that? In this note, it says pericycle in the dicot root involving in secondary growth. Correct? No? And doesn't the vascular cambium contribute to secondary growth? No, correct. Pericycle of the dicot root. Now the root different story. No? Root is a different story, right? We'll come to that. Root, it's a different story. Root, the vascular cambium is formed by the pericycle. Root co-cambium is produced by the pericycle too. Alright. In roots, we can see some difference. Alright. Okay. So here, this is, we are now dealing with the stem at this moment. Stem secondary growth, not the secondary growth of the root. All right. All right. Okay. Right. So this is the vascular cambium, neither. This is vascular cambium. Vascular cambium. Vascular cambium. What is this, people? Stem. This is for the stem. This is for the stem. Right. Okay. This is for the stem, not for the root. Right. So we'll finish the stem part first. Then we'll come back to the root part. Neither. So here, what happens when the vascular cambium activate? Then you have to draw this. You have to draw this here. Right. So let me show that. I had erase and draw. Ne? I had to erase and draw. So this is what we obtain. This is what we obtain. Right. This is what we obtain. Look at this. Look at this. This is the vascular cambium. This is vascular cambium. And then from here towards inside, from here towards inside, what it forms? From here towards inside, what it forms? The secondary xylem. Neither. Secondary xylem. Then from here towards outside, what it forms? We will secondary phloem. Secondary phloem. So here we have the primary. Here we have the primary xylem. I'm coloring now the primary xylem. Ne? This part is the secondary xylem. This part is a secondary xylem. This part is secondary xylem. This part is secondary xylem. This is secondary xylem. All right. And here towards outside, it forms the secondary phloem. Towards outside, it forms a secondary phloem. So this is secondary phloem is relatively thin compared to the secondary xylem. Neither. Secondary phloem is relatively thin compared to the secondary xylem. Relatively thin, right? So I'm drawing it. This is it. Relatively thin secondary phloem which form towards outside. All right. And then how do you draw the primary phloem, people? Against this, the primary phloem. Against this, the primary phloem. Against the primary xylem, primary phloem. Against the primary xylem, primary phloem. Against the primary xylem, primary phloem. So you draw it like that. Okay. So I can color it and show, but you can't see the color clearly. Ne? Cannot see the color clearly. This is how it happens. And then you can see, people, some of the rays. Some of the rays are there. What do you call, people? The vascular rays, right? These are the vascular rays. These are vascular rays. Oops. These are vascular rays. Vascular rays. So this is primary xylem, secondary phloem, primary phloem. And then you can show the epidermis. Then you can show epidermis. Right? Then you can show epidermis, neither. So here the epidermis, this one, and cortex, this, and primary phloem, this one, secondary phloem, this one, and then primary xylem, and then this is secondary xylem. Secondary xylem. So you can show it like that. You can show the parts like that. All right. That's it. Simple. Simple, right? Right, simple. So there is a question. Someone asked a question. Let me read that. So what forms the parenchyma between the secondary xylem and the phloem? What forms the parenchyma between the secondary xylem and the phloem? Vascular race, right? No. What we said is a vascular cambium. What we said is a vascular cambium, no? So let me come back to this side then. If you are asking the same question again, right? Right. This is the primary stem. This is the primary stem. And what is the result of the perpendicular short cells? Okay, I'll come into that. Look at this diagram. Can you see the diagram? Can you see this diagram, Lamai? So this is showing you, this shows you the stem vertical section. Here we can see the cambium present in the between the xylem and the phloem, and the cambium is now connected by parenchyma ring. Then that forms the vascular cambium. Now between the xylem and the phloem, cambium present, right? And then in between some parenchyma present here. In between, this is parenchyma. This part is parenchyma. This is cambium. This is cambium. This part is cambium. This part is cambium. This is parenchyma. Those parenchyma now obtain the dividing ability. Parenchyma now obtains the dividing ability. So here, what you see, this cambium and the parenchyma, cambium and the parenchyma, cambium and the parenchyma, cambium and the parenchyma, cambium and parenchyma, parenchyma and the cambium, all are now forming a ring. That ring we call as a vascular cambium. That vascular cambium has two cell types. These two cell types are there in that vascular cambium. Some cells are elongated, some cells are short. Elongated cells are forming xylem and phloem towards inside and outside. Short cells are producing parenchyma towards inside and outside. Is that clear? Is that clear now? Is that clear? Who asked that question? Got it? Right? Got it? Right? So that's it. So when you look at this diagram, this is now we are showing the xylem and the phloem separated. This is the parenchyma. These are actually the long cells. Now I am pointing you the long cells. This is the short cell. This is the short cell. This is the short cell. This is a short cell. So it forms parenchyma inside and outside. It forms parenchyma inside and outside. This is another short cell which forms parenchyma inside and outside. Got it? Right? So that's the arrangement. That's the arrangement. So this is how it grows. And then this is what you get as the next diagram. This is what you get as the next diagram. This is what you get as the next diagram. That's the same diagram here. It's the same diagram here. It's the same diagram here. Right? So it is the same diagram here. So you see at the middle, people, little bit of pith can remain. Little bit of pith can remain. So this is the secondary growth. Secondary grown structure is this. This is secondary grown structure. Alright. Now what happens? The cocambium is going to form. Cocambium forms from this epidermis. Look at this, people. Beneath the epidermis, another new dividing cell layer comes. We call that as the cocambium. So this is cocambium. That is cocambium. What do you call this? Cocambium. Now you have to understand, Co-cambium is going to form cells towards outside as well as inside. Co-cambium is forming cells towards outside. So what happened now? Some other cells are going to form towards outside. These outside formed cells, these outward cells are forming the coke. So I'm showing you now, people, the coke. Co-cambium forms towards outside the coke. It forms the coke towards outside. It makes the coke outside. Ne? So this is coke. This is now forming coke towards outside. Formation of the coke ruptures the epidermis. So therefore, this is the ruptured epidermis. I'm drawing now the ruptured epidermis. These are the epidermal pieces. Ruptured epidermis, I'm drawing like that. Right? So from where the co-cambium in the stem forms? Very easy. From where the co-cambium forms in the stem? Where the co-cambium forms? Inner to the epidermis. So as the co-cambium activate, what happens? Epidermis rupture. Before rupturing, what happens? New cell layers are added by the co-cambium towards outside, which we call as the coke cells. Co-cambium forms some other cells towards inside too. Co-cambium is basically forming the cells so that the coke and the peridome, very good. Coke is forming co-cambium and the coke. Together we call as a peridome. Co-cambium and the cells produced by the coke. Together we call as a peridome. Mainly cells are produced towards outside. So coke, cambium and the cells produced by that. Co-cambium and the cells produced by that. This is the cells produced by it. These are the cells produced by it. So co-cambium and the cells produced by that we call as the peridome. Co-cambium and the cells produced by that we call as the peridome. Alright. So peridome. Peridome is therefore the combination of the co-cambium plus, it's the combination of co-cambium plus, it's a combination of co-cambium plus the other cells produced by the co-cambium. So cells produced by the co-cambium and the co-cambium together we call as the peridome. Together what do you call, people? Peridome. Together we call as peridome. Is that clear? Is that clear? Clear, right? So we'll come here. We'll come here. So this is showing you the next diagram. This shows the next diagram. This shows the next diagram. Right? In the class we drew some nice big diagrams. Class we drew some nice big diagrams. So this is how it goes. Right? This is how it goes. Right? And co-cambium and the coke. Co-cambium and coke. Right? So we have to discuss. This is a beautiful diagram. The color is colors better. I drew that on the smart board. Right? So here you can see, people, all the things clearly. All the things you can see clearly here. Right? Now you learn some more details. You learn about, people, the peridome. Sorry. You learn about the annual rings. Annual rings. And you learn, people, this vascular cambium activity changes with time. The speed of the action of the vascular cambium is going up and down. Right? It's not constant throughout the year. Right? Some periods, people, vascular cambium is more active. Some periods the vascular cambium is less active. So depending on that, we can see that, people, the amount of the xylem and the phloem produced by the vascular cambium is variable. And you learn another important thing. What you learn, people? You learn about bark. You said all the tissues outside the vascular cambium as bark. So if this is vascular cambium, all tissues outside the vascular cambium, this we call as bark. That is bark. All tissues outside the vascular cambium is bark. Then tissues from the vascular cambium to the inside we call as the wood. So this part is the wood. This is wood. So we talked about the wood and the bark. Wood is a secondary xylem. Wood is secondary xylem. And in this wood you learn, people, in this wood you learn part of the wood is formed early. Some parts of the wood is formed early. Some parts of the wood are formed recently. So these early formed wood and the recently formed wood, we can see some color difference present. Likewise, you can see on the board now, you can see some color difference present. Right? Early formed wood is blocked by people various waste materials. It is formed earlier, so that a lot of dirt and the waste materials are deposited in there. Rather than when something formed new, it's like a new TV set. You buy a new TV set, people, it's going to be clean. Clean, no dust, no dirt. It's fresh, smells good. All these things are there. But how about the very old TV set, people? You can see a lot of dust present. Scratches are there, different marks on the TV set. Same like that, people, the early formed wood. This the central part is the early formed wood. Closer to the vascular cambium is a newly formed wood. So these early formed wood, what do you see? Early formed wood, you can see, people, is early formed wood. Early formed wood. Early formed wood. Early formed wood is dark in color. Early formed wood is dark in color like this. Early formed wood is dark in color like this. Dark in color. Early formed wood. Recently formed one is light in color. Depending on that, we call the wood with two names. What do you call this part of the wood? Light in color, what do you call it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. What do you call it? What do you call it? The light color wood, what do you call it? Come on. Who's going to answer? Sapwood, very good. And what do you call this dark color part at the center? What do you call that? So the wood has two parts. This part, what do you call, people? Sapwood. Sapwood. And what do you call this? The central part. Central means heart, neither. Heartwood. You call that as a heartwood. Heartwood is the wood present at the middle. Heartwood, neither. Heartwood is there. Right? Heartwood present. Sapwood and the heartwood. Sapwood and heartwood. Is that idea clear? Is that idea clear? Anyone has any questions regarding that? Anyone has any questions to ask regarding that? No one has no questions. No one has any questions? No. Right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Right. I have to tell one more thing. I'm a bit scared to say that. What is that, people? We had to talk about the annual rings, right? We had to talk about the annual rings. I'm a bit scared to talk about it, right? So here we can see that this vascular cambium, some periods we can see that, people, is faster. Some periods the vascular cambium slow down. When the vascular cambium slow down, people, you can see dark color rings appear. Here in the heartwood and the sapwood, this sort of dark color rings appear when the vascular cambium activity is slower. Dark color rings appear. So that anyway this part is dark. This is further darker than the dark. Darker than the dark. Right? And then, people, we can see that this sort of darker rings can be there. In the dark part, there are darker rings like this. In the dark part, there are darker rings. Right? Dark part, there are darker rings. These darker rings, right? And the lighter rings, set of dark dark ring and the light ring. What do you call people? Annual ring. Dark ring and the light ring. This is the dark ring. This is the dark ring. When this ring is dark, this ring also dark. This ring also dark. Right? So this part is light ring. It's dark, comparatively light. This is light. So you take the light ring and a dark ring together, what do you call? Annual ring. What do you call? This is the light ring, light ring, and this one is the, let's take people, dark ring, and then what do you call together? Annual ring. Annual ring. That we call as the annual ring. Right? So you have to forget about the sapwood and the heartwood now. Sapwood and the heartwood is a different story, right? Sapwood and the heartwood is a different story. I don't think you have any confusion between the sapwood and the heartwood and the annual rings. Now wood. Let me take it once again. Bark is all tissues outside the vascular cambium is bark. All tissues outside the vascular cambium is bark. Right? All tissues inside the vascular cambium is wood. That wood has two parts. Light color wood is the sapwood and the dark color wood is the heartwood. In both the wood part, we can see people, in wood part we can see further two types of rings available, ring-like appearance present. In these rings, some rings are darker than the heartwood, and you call them as the, what do you call? Dark rings. Dark rings, we say people, summer wood, neither. Dark ring we call as a summer wood. Light ring, what do you call people? What do you call the light ring? There is a term for use for the light ring. What do you call it? Spring wood. Light ring is spring wood. Very good. Nice. Nice boys and girls. Right? Light ring is called as the spring wood. So spring wood and the summer wood together represent 1 year growth of the plant. 1 year growth of the plant. So then what do you call that? Annual ring. So you can count the number of annual rings and we can tell the age of the tree. By counting the number of rings, we can see the age of the tree. Right? So we can do that. Neither. We can do that by counting the rings. We can tell the age of the plant. We can tell the age of the plant. Right? We can talk about age of the plant. Right? We can talk about the age of the plant. We can talk about the age of the plant. Right? We can talk about age of the plant. So like this you can see the rings. Like this you can see the rings once again. Bark. Then here sapwood and the heartwood together, what do you call the wood? Neither. And in this wood part we can see some more rings are there. Right? Some more rings are there. If you take this ring, if you take the ring, the what do you call the spring wood has large xylem vessels. Spring wood is wider and lighter in color. Summer wood has narrow xylem vessels so that they are less in thickness and more dark in color. This is a spring wood, light in appearance because the wide xylem vessel elements present. Xylem vessel elements are wide. Right? Xylem vessel elements are wide. So is the spring wood known as the early wood? Yeah, we can say early wood. Spring wood, early wood, but it's not mentioned in the resource book. Is it mentioned in the resource book? Early wood, right? Okay, so this is how it arranged, right? If you take a cell diagram, we can see this is large xylem vessel elements are available in the spring wood, and then the xylem vessel elements are relatively small in the summer wood. That's clear, neither. That's clear. A big relief for me, right? Since you don't ask extra questions, neither. Big relief for me. And then people, then we have to talk about the secondary growth of the root. Secondary growth of the root. So, do I have permission to erase this board now? Do I have permission to erase the board? Can I, is it okay? Is it okay? Erasing, right? All right. All right. Now we have to check people that second problem. What is that? Secondary growth of the root. Secondary growth of the root. How plant roots are actually growing, showing, growing, secondary growth. How the root shows the secondary growth. In our resource book, they have given this part together, not separately, together. That is a little challenge. That is a little challenge. Anyway, if you take people, dicot root, this is the dicot root structure. I'm taking dicot root, and you know people, this is the endodermis and this is the pericycle, the inner pericycle. Someone asked a question regarding this. That person, please pay attention, more attention now, right? Can't remember the name of the person who asked the question, but anyway, somebody asked that question. So this is the xylem, and here we have the phloem. Here we have the phloem, lamai. This is it. So what happened now? The vascular cambium comes from the pericycle. Vascular cambium comes from the pericycle, and it's the same pericycle which forms the cocambium. So both vascular cambium and the cocambium comes from vascular cambium, and the cocambium both comes from the pericycle. That is quite special feature, right? I think people, if you know that, it's enough for A levels. It is enough for A levels. You don't have to know the actual secondary growth process of the root in detail. You need not to know, right? Certain things from where the tissues come, you need to know, right? So let's take that. Let's take that. First of all, this is the vascular cambium. This is the vascular cambium. This is vascular cambium. And still you can see, once the vascular cambium forms the pericycle, I'm drawing this black line for the pericycle. And then the second black line, I'm drawing people to the endodermis. Right? And this is the outer epidermis. That is the outer epidermis. Alright? So, this vascular cambium, I think I need to erase this. I'll redraw it. I'll redraw it. So, vascular cambium is coming from the pericycle, right, people? Vascular cambium comes from the pericycle, right? So, initially we can see vascular cambium completes like this. Pericycle and some of the other parenchyma cells are forming a ring. What is this, people? Vascular cambium. Vascular cambium. So, vascular cambium is not purely the pericycle. Pericycle and the parenchyma present between xylem and the phloem also participate in formation of the vascular cambium. So, vascular cambium turns into a ring like this. Once it becomes a ring, you can see, people, the center we have the xylem. Primary xylem is going to be in the middle. Primary xylem is going to be at the middle like this. Right? And then this part is the secondary xylem. So, from the vascular cambium inside, when the secondary xylem forms, Primary xylem comes to the center. From the vascular cambium, when secondary xylem formed towards inside, this primary xylem goes to the middle. From the vascular cambium outside, people, we can see that the secondary phloem is going to form. So this is secondary phloem. This dotted area that I am drawing now is a secondary phloem. Against the arms of the xylem, we can see primary phloem present. Look at this, people. These are the arms of the xylem. These are arms of the xylem. Against that, the primary phloem present. So here also same. Against the arms, you can see that the primary phloem present. Against the arms, the primary phloem present. And here I am drawing, people, the pericycle now. Here I am drawing the pericycle. This pericycle is a pericycle which is going to form the cambium. This is the endodermis. This is endodermis and this is epidermis. This is epidermis. You can see the rays. What you call the vascular rays are there. You can see vascular rays. Those are vascular rays. So here this is epidermis. Epidermis. This is cortex. This is endodermis. This is pericycle. That is pericycle. And this is secondary phloem. This is primary phloem. This is secondary xylem. And then we have the primary xylem. Then we have the primary xylem. This is the tissue arrangement. Still, the second growth is not completed, but have come half the way. Now, there is little more to happen to complete the second growth. That is, people, the pericycle has to transform into the coke cambium. And it has to produce the coke outside. It has to form the coke outside. That's it. Right? Almost in the last step now. Right? So, you can see the xylem, primary xylem, secondary xylem, vascular cambium, secondary phloem, primary phloem, pericycle and the coke cambium. Sorry, pericycle and the endodermis. Right? So, what happened next? What happens next? What happens next? Right? What happens next? This coke pericycle becomes the coke cambium. Pericycle becomes the coke cambium. Right? So let me show you that pericycle become the coke cambium and start producing coke towards outside. So let me show it like this. This is now forming coke towards outside. So what happens, people? This is coke. This is now coke. The endodermis now ruptures. Cortex ruptures. Endodermis and the cortex ruptures. These are the ruptured parts now. Those are the ruptured parts. All the tissues are going to rupture. So now cortex, they are now ruptured. Due to the coke, everything now ruptures. Right? This cortex, endodermis, now they are ruptured parts. Right? This is epidermis, cortex, they are rupturing. They rupture. Right? And then this one is the coke. This is coke. This is coke. Beneath that, the coke cambium. Immediately beneath the coke is a coke cambium. Immediately beneath the coke is a coke cambium. Together, you can call as a periderm. Together we can call as the periderm. Together we call as the periderm. Together we call as periderm. So that is how the secondary growth occur in the root. Now there is a question whether there is sapwood and the heartwood. Yes. Whether there are annual rings present. Yes. Rings can form. Sapwood and heartwood is available too. We are not going to show that because it's too much. Not necessary for our examination. They have not even discussed, people, the details of the secondary growth process of the root. They don't discuss the details. This information is more than enough for you. This information is more than enough for you. Do you understood that? Did you understand that? Is this clear, my dear people? Is this clear enough? Right? So I think it's clear for you. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, you can ask. Right? If you have any questions, you can ask from me. Do you have any questions, my dear friends? Do you have any questions, dear friends? Do you have any questions? No doubts, slow. That's good. No doubts, that is better. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So here the coke and the coke cambium together, you call as the periderm. Coke and the coke cambium together, we can call as the periderm, right? So that is about the secondary growth process. That is about the secondary growth process, right? Secondary growth process, right? So study study. I have planned, people, even to discuss the plant diversity, but we'll postpone it to another day. We'll postpone it to another day, right? So these quick revisions, I'm just giving you some extra support, people, for you to go through the theory parts. Let's have a look little bit at your resource book, people, if whether there is anything we missed. If there is anything we missed, right? So look at this side. So we talked about the secondary growth part, primary structure we learned, and then primary structure. Then here we talk about the secondary growth. Here we talk about the secondary growth. Now the only problem is, people, they have given a combined description. They have given a combined description for this part. Sir, no doubt. Can you do fungi part fully? Yes, sure. I did once, fungi I did once, I think, but I'll be taking it. If you have a request, you let me know, right? You let me know. I can do that. No problem at all. So then, people, these things we discuss, right? These secondary growth diagrams you have to draw. Hardwood and the sapwood we learn, hardwood and the sapwood. This one is important. Hardwood and the softwood. Dicot wood we call as the softwood. Sorry, dicot we call wood we call as the hardwood, and then the conifer wood or the gymnosperm wood, what you call as, people, as the softwood, as the softwood, right? And then we talk about the growth rings too, and then we have to talk about the shoot architecture and shoot architecture part. So then, people, thank you very much for your time and for your participation in this journey, right? So I think, people, these things are helping you to improve. If anything to be changed, you let me know, right? Let me know. You can meet me during the class and then inform me. If you think this is productive, right? And if you think any other changes need to be done, and so will we continue the animal tissues next Monday? Yes, I think next Monday we are not going to have any internet problems, and we can do that part. In the meantime, we are discussing this weekend, people, Saturday class, plant responses. It's a short part, and probably, people, week after we can go with the animal nutrition lesson, right? And yes, thank you very much, and then I'll see you all soon. So we need more true and false questions. Sure, Don't worry, I'll be sending that. Somebody said me about the WhatsApp. I would like to know the actual problem. If you can WhatsApp me or send me a message saying why you want me to create something like the Telegram channel in the WhatsApp, because then I have to maintain too. I don't have a plan at the moment. If you can let me know some more details, I can consider, right? But it's extra work for me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all. Good night. Bye.